Oma and
Anna.
Anna. And today is a special episode because Christmas is coming up and the holidays for those that don't celebrate Christmas by itself. And that can be a time where we are very happy or where we are very sad or where we go from happy to sad and up and down all the time.
Right. Absolutely.
Not for nothing, the psychiatrists are busiest before Christmas. Depression is exacerbating, and in our time of infections and viruses all getting pushed forward by the media, we are in danger of getting infected by anxiety and depression.
Oh, this morning I did something that I have not done in a very long time.
Tell me about it.
I switched off my TV.
Good for
I
you.
switched off the news.
Awesome. Why did you do that?
I've had enough.
Mm.
Right up to the tippy top. I've had enough. I'm realizing that, well, I'm not sure how to put my finger on it exactly. All the things that are going on regarding, hearing about the virus and all. And then my anxiety level goes up and my stress level goes up and then I get down.
Mm.
And then I feel helpless, hopeless, unloved. All of those negative feelings just come rushing in. And I just don't know how to deal with it. And then I start spilling out to the people that I care about the most. And, and and then I feel guilty about it because sometimes I cry in front of those people. And I think I make them feel uncomfortable because I'm emoting, I'm sharing these feelings.
Mm.
And then I feel guilty about it. And then I'm trying to make them feel better on some level so that I don't have to feel guilty about my feeling badly in front of them. It's a vicious cycle.
And
And
then
I,
have people even more feeling alone because they're afraid to share those feelings. Those are universal feelings, sister. You're not alone. And I am comfortable with people crying in front of me, but not everybody is. You're right there. And some people are very emotionally expressive, like yourself. And I value that in you because I'm not quite as expressive. I have the emotions, but when I'm with somebody, my first thought is not, oh my God, they're feeling bad. I'm feeling bad, because that's what the mirror neurons in our brain want us to think. They make us think those same thoughts. Like when we are hearing anxious thoughts on TV, our amygdala gets stimulated and activated and say, oh my God, that's the mirror neurons.
yeah.
My
And
first
then, and
reaction
then,
is, how can I help this person to change their thoughts and feelings so it's more helpful for them? So,
yeah. And you know what? The biggest fear that we have, as far as I'm concerned, is the fear that's created by anxiety and stress, by all the things we hear in the media, and then it's magnified and amplified. And then that energy, because I believe everything is energy, is absorbed into all the cells in our body, and
mhm,
we're affected by it. And
yeah.
particularly at this time of Christmas, New Year's, Hanukkah for those people who celebrate that, Diwali, the people from India who celebrate the festival of lights. The times when you get together with family and loved ones. And even if you don't have family nearby, the very fact that you can't be around people is really hurtful. And so I tend to isolate anyway when I get down. I live alone. And
No, let me just interrupt you there, sister. I hate to do it, but that's an important point, because people that are down in the dumps tend to self-isolate, but people that are by anxiety and fear forced, or by public health measures forced to put themselves in prison, and constant fear and stress and to self-isolate,
Yeah.
which we call it when we put ourselves in prison, same effect, it's a very stressful thing. And then Christmas, which is always stressful, even though it's often positive stress, comes on top of it.
Yeah.
And that changes our whole body chemistry, our stomach bacteria, our gut bacteria. And those gut bacteria produce brain hormones. And that changes our immune system. And being afraid and stressed for a long time reduces our immune system. And that makes every infection and disease worse.
Well, it's interesting because you know what people say, it's all in our heads. And the truth is, it is all in our heads, but not the way we think. So tell us, put your doc hat on now, Oma. And as you're explaining, I want you to even share with me what the hell is going on with me that I am so, such in a negative space. It hurts really, really bad.
Now, it does hurt, and I get that. And I had emotional pain myself, and it's worse than physical pain. Physical pain, you take pills and it usually helps quite well. Or you sit still and relax and it helps.
Yeah,
Mental pain, you try to relax and it gets worse because then you ruminate. And really the question has to be reframed in my mind. It's not, why am I feeling so bad? But maybe try asking, how can I feel better? How can I contribute to make this day a better day? What can I do today to make my day better? What
isn't that, excuse me though, isn't that kind of simplistic?
it is.
And
Make
it really
it
is simple, is it?
simple. And the thing is, every day when we wake up, we have a choice. Do we wake up and start with the thought, oh my God, this is going to be another of those horrible days? Or do we wake up and when the thought goes through our mind, we choose not to believe it because many thoughts are just not true. And instead to say, hey, that thought is not true. Now let's reframe it. This day is going to be a better day than yesterday. What can I do to make it a better day than yesterday? What's my choice today? Because we all have a choice. Although the media want to tell us we don't, we have to do what is told. We have a choice.
Yeah, yeah.
We don't
No,
have thought control yet. And for those that haven't read the great science fiction, it was it in the 40s, 1984 by George Orwell. I recommend you read it. It's a great novel.
yeah, I know you're always prompting me to do that. I read it many years ago and I've forgotten a
Maybe
lot.
don't remember it, but the
No,
double think, I hear that a lot in the media nowadays, what they called, what George Orwell called doublethink.
what is that?
False facts, false studies. What's the truth is no longer clear. For centuries, it seemed to be clear, never was, because the
It's so
Catholic,
confusing. It's so confusing, Oma.
it is extremely confusing. We live in a confusing time. We hear conflicting messages. And when we go on the internet or on Facebook, YouTube, it is censored. Yes, they only let one side of the story up. Maybe it's a good thing, maybe not, because the fear mongering is, I hate to say it, is killing us.
Well, you know what? I just want people to know that you and I obviously are videotaping this,
Yes.
but what we're talking about and the feelings that we're expressing, particularly mine because I am over the top, this is real. It's coming right from in here. I'm not doing
Absolutely.
this for effect. I am affected by everything, and it's really impacting my life, and I need
Maxine,
some
Oma,
help.
Nana, you're very susceptible to the energy in the room. And when you switch on the news, what energy do you get?
It's all negative, Christine. It's all negative.
And I
That's
know
why
you like Professor, what's his name, Dr. David uh,
Hawkins.
Hawkins.
Yeah.
And do we get any love energy in the news?
No, honey, no.
Very little, very tiny fragments,
Yeah.
just enough to make us feel like it's not all bad.
Yeah. And you know what? You know what, Oma? I try to hold on to that. Like every day I go on Facebook or wherever sending messages. Love is the way. And of course it is. But geez, I'm human and I feel battered and worn and all of that. And I get weak. And then I have to pull myself up by my bootstraps. But sometimes I can't, or that it's very difficult to do. And it's why I need to turn to you. And I'm blessed because you're a professional as well as being my sister of choice and my best friend. So you're able to enlighten and educate me about different things that I'm not aware that can be helpful to me. So, if anybody is looking for a wonderful soul to talk to, compassionate, understanding, knowledgeable, I wish that they would reach out to you for their own sake. And I don't say this, you guys, just because she's my bestie. It's because it's real. And I hope that the people who read my stuff or listen to me know that I'm real. I'm really real. And I would like to share that part of my life with them, that the love part. And you are a big part of that, my sweet sister. You know,
You know, I'm not one to cry easily, but you saying that is so humbling. It touches my heart, really it does.
well,
You're a good person, sister, and I love you. And I care for human beings. And I
I
care
know,
for
I know,
all my clients. And
I know, Christine. I know, uh, we'll all get through this. We'll all get through it. But Jesus, at what price do we have to pay? What price do we have to pay?
you're
So
still in the dark part of the tunnel, as I say. But there is a light at the end of the tunnel, and it's not a freight train.
no, steady as we go, one foot in front of the other, holding on as we move forward, right, Christine?
Mm.
There is, the good times are there. We just need to uncover them. Not even that they're coming. They're there. We just have to have that awareness to lift the veil and say, oh yeah. And
And
so
I also, Nana, sorry, I also think it's so important that people realize human life is an up and down. And it
yeah,
always was. And before they even had any antidepressants, by the way, exercise after 6 months works better than antidepressants. There's other ways to help depression, especially if it's caused by events and
yeah,
by feelings and by thoughts about the events. And it's
yeah,
not, most of the time, it's not a biochemical imbalance. So
right,
that I think is important to notice. They can do more harm than good in certain
yeah,
cases. They can do more good than harm in other cases. I'm
yeah,
not against medications at all, but
sure, sure,
don't start with it if you don't have to. Try other ways first.
yeah,
And in the 14th century, they called it the night of the soul, when somebody was depressed and was trying to refocus, find new meaning in their life. And we are there because most of us that have been growing up live by distractions, by TV, live by computer games for the younger district. We never take the time to refocus and think about what really is the meaning of my life.
yeah,
We
yeah,
get more and more meaningless, what Viktor Frankl calls logotherapy, because he tried to connect depressed people with their meaning. And he found meaning even as in a concentration camp.
I know. I read his book. It's
It is
beautiful.
awesome. I was so
Incredible.
fortunate. I heard him speak in Germany when I was
You
in
said,
Germany and as a
wow,
student. It
amazing.
was amazing, and I wasn't realizing how amazing it was until much later,
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
I was just a young student and thought, hey, what's that old folk talking about?
Well, you know what? That's one thing about being an Oma and a Nana. Life experience has taught us a number of things about what really, really is important. And this connection that we have and the connections that we have with others when we're authentically ourselves, there's no greater gift, is there, Christine?
Nana, you're right. And I totally respect your courage to say that openly on video. Most people
Yeah.
don't.
Well, honey, I'm depressed. I feel like shit many times and it's hurtful. But you know what? That's why I wanted us to do this today, Christine, because yeah, we're not alone. Everybody feels this. And so let's, you know, virtually hold hands and, and, and know that there's somebody else who feels like you do. Come on.
Can you do a
Christine
heart
is
like that?
another.
I'm not
Oh,
good at that. A heart
no,
with
it's like
camera?
this. It's like this.
Ah, there.
Yeah,
Now I do it the other way around.
see? There we are. All
Okay.
right.
Wait. Okay.
From my heart
To your
to
heart.
yours.
Yes, sister.
I love you.
I love you too, darling.
Bye,
Bye.
everybody.